Black Hawk Down refers to the Battle of Mogadishu, a violent and intense conflict that took place on October 3 to 4, 1993, in Mogadishu, Somalia. This battle involved U.S. military forces, primarily elite units such as the Army Rangers and Delta Force, and was part of a broader mission known as Operation Gothic Serpent. The goal was to capture key lieutenants of Somali warlord Mohammed Farah Aidid, whose forces were contributing to the chaos and famine in the country. In the early 1990s, Somalia was in the grip of a brutal civil war following the collapse of its central government. Competing warlords, including Aidid, fought for control, and the country's population suffered from extreme violence, famine, and displacement. The United Nations intervened with a humanitarian mission to deliver food and aid, but the situation quickly deteriorated as fighting continued. By 1993, the US had taken a leading role in the UN mission to stabilize Somalia, shifting from purely humanitarian aid to trying to disarm the warlords and restore order. Aidid, in particular, became a target after his forces attacked UN peacekeepers. On October 3, 1993, U.S. forces launched a raid into the heart of Mogadishu to capture two of Aidid's top lieutenants. The operation was supposed to last no more than an hour. It began with a daring assault by helicopters, known as Black Hawks, that inserted soldiers into the city. However, things quickly went wrong when two Black Hawk helicopters were shot down by Somali militia using rocket-propelled grenades, RPGs. The downing of these helicopters turned what was supposed to be a quick operation into a desperate overnight rescue mission. U.S. forces found themselves surrounded by thousands of heavily armed Somali fighters, many of whom were civilians, including women and children, making it difficult for American soldiers to distinguish combatants from non-combatants. The battle became a chaotic urban fight, with U.S. forces under intense fire from all directions as they tried to secure the crash sites and rescue their comrades. The situation grew increasingly dire as the soldiers ran low on ammunition, water, and medical supplies, and casualties mounted. By the time reinforcements, including troops from the U.S. 10th Mountain Division and UN forces, arrived to help extract the trapped soldiers, the battle had raged for over 18 hours. The cost was high: 18 U.S. soldiers were killed, 73 wounded, and 1 captured. Estimates of Somali casualties range from several hundred to over 1,000, including both militia fighters and civilians. The battle shocked the American public and the world. Images of dead U.S. soldiers being dragged through the streets of Mogadishu were broadcast globally, leading to widespread outrage and a re-evaluation of U.S. involvement in Somalia. The Battle of Mogadishu exposed significant challenges in urban warfare, particularly the vulnerability of U.S. air assets like helicopters to low-tech weapons such as RPGs. The operation, originally planned as a quick raid, turned into a prolonged and chaotic battle, revealing flaws in intelligence and planning. U.S. forces, heavily outnumbered and operating in a hostile urban environment, faced a determined militia using guerrilla tactics. The engagement highlighted the complexities of urban combat and the need for better preparation, influencing future military doctrines and training. The events of Black Hawk Down had a lasting impact on U.S. foreign policy. The mission's failure contributed to the U.S. decision to withdraw from Somalia and marked a shift towards more cautious military interventions in the years that followed. It also influenced how the U.S. approached subsequent humanitarian and military operations, emphasizing the need for clear objectives and understanding the complexities of urban warfare in hostile environments. The Battle of Mogadishu was later immortalized in the book Black Hawk Down by journalist Mark Bowden and a subsequent Hollywood film adaptation in 2001, both of which brought widespread attention to the events and the bravery of the soldiers involved. The Battle of Mogadishu, known as Black Hawk Down, remains a pivotal moment in U.S. military history. It was a stark reminder of the complexities and dangers of urban warfare, especially in regions with deep-rooted social and political instability. The bravery and resilience of the U.S. soldiers involved have been commemorated in books, films, and military studies, serving as both a tribute and a lesson. The aftermath of the battle led to a reassessment of U.S. foreign policy and military intervention strategies, emphasizing the importance of clear objectives, robust planning, and understanding the human terrain in conflict zones. The legacy of Mogadishu continues to influence military operations and humanitarian missions, reminding future generations of the costs of war and the need for careful consideration in the use of military force. The story of Black Hawk Down stands as a testament to the courage of those who serve and the enduring challenges of achieving peace and stability in a turbulent world.